my message for writers at all stages of their careers is don't give up. There are readers out there who want to read your work. Don't give up. And for readers, I just want to say thank you. You give me hope, and I want you to know that you are a truly important part of the process. The books do not come alive until they are read. So thank you.
There might be times when you do not see yourself in the art form, but ask yourself, do you see the art form in yourself? Because if you see the art form in yourself, you will in fact find the time and find the opportunity as a writer, as a storyteller, to create those stories that did not exist before. And as a reader, that thirst for stories that represent your own unique experience can propel you to demand that those stories be told. You have every right to challenge authority. You have every right to challenge the gatekeepers. You have every right to challenge your teachers in high school that tell you, no, so-and-so is not a good writer. Like I was told, James Baldwin is not a good writer, if you can believe that. You have every right to demand that the reading that you are forced to imbibe in high school or in university is reading that is good to your peace of mind and your well-being. And as a writer, you have every right to believe in yourself and fight for the story that you want to tell.
Your stories and your drawings, they matter, they're important. And stories for me aren't plot or events, they are emotions. And the stories we love because we connect to them. So that tells me that stories serve to make us feel less alone. And the stories that we need that are about the queer community could be the story that you have in your mind that you are putting down on paper. So to continue doing what you love, keep reading, keep taking in more stories, more books, draw more, write more, because the world needs it.
We're here. We're writing stories for you. We're holding the door open for you for when you're ready to share your stories, and I cannot wait to read them.
You will find your people. It may take going away to college. It may take moving to a new city. It may take digging through all of these online communities, but your people are out there, and it is so worth the wait when you find them.
You are enough, both in general and also as a queer person. You are queer enough, exactly where you are in the process.
Across all my books, I write different genres. I write fantasy, I write speculative, I write contemporary sad ones, I write contemporary less sad ones, kind of rom-com-y, but still not necessarily as rom-y as some people want. But I just want to show queer people in different spaces and show that we can always be the pilots of our own ships and experience all cycles of life, whether that is heartbreak, of which I write a lot about, or those are like the more cuter, sweet moments, which I have a fondness for reading as well. So I just want to, kind of inspire and encourage everybody to prioritize their own voices in these spaces.
Whoever you are, whatever your identities, whether you're out or not, who you are is valid, and it's beautiful, and it's worth celebrating.
There is somebody out there who has your story. There is somebody out there who is writing what you need to read, and there's somebody out there who is dying to read what you want to write. And if you ever feel like you're too much, I promise you there is somebody out there who wants to read exactly who you are and needs to read exactly who you are. So please don't invalidate yourself and don't erase yourself. There's enough of that out there from everybody else. Please get your words and your heart out there and connect to the people who need it.
There are people who have lived through similar experiences to you, even if you don't have them in your community or if they're not around you right now. There are people out there who understand you. Write true to your experience and keep hope alive if you're not from an accepting background, that there is a family out there for you and they're just waiting to find you.
So It Gets Better never really resonated with me. I, have sort of struggled with something at every point in my life. And what really keeps me going and what makes me happy to be alive is it gets different. There are new things to explore and experience, and I'm always excited to keep going.
What I want to say to those of you that are aspiring creators, writers, artists, whatever you may be, the journey is going to look different for different people. It's easy to get caught up in the online space of seeing people that you that you admire online, or other peers of yours that are succeeding a little bit faster than you, and you'd want to be where they're at as well, to not let that be a determining factor for your own journey. Everybody's journey is going to look different than yours, and you are well on your way. Keep your eye on the prize, work hard. You're gonna get that goal, whatever it may be, you're gonna get there, but you just gotta keep working, keep your eye on the prize, and most of all, just don't give up.
Becoming an author, publishing Cemetery Voice has been one of the most humbling experiences in my entire life. I feel so much gratitude for my community and to be able to represent people within my community with my identity. And for writers, keep writing. We need your books. Let's flood the market. We need more of every kind of story so that younger readers who are queer or questioning have a whole plethora of stories and a canon to choose from in order to find stories that best suit their experiences, their needs, and to find points of comfort. It's so important. So keep writing, keep reading.
There are so many stories left to be told, and we need more of you to tell them. And this is just the beginning.
Remember, stories have power. You know, they've given me power. You know, they give us power. And so read, and, you know, especially write the stories you would like to read that you see aren't being written.
We are always going to need all types of stories, no matter what. So if you think like, oh man, I don't know if anyone would ever want to read like what I'm writing, or I don't know if anyone wants like another coming out story or whatever, we are always going to need those, and we are always going to need different experiences and different identities and different stories from people, especially from underrepresented and marginalized groups, and especially from queer readers, that we are just always going to need your stories.
Just look at how much things have advanced in my lifetime, going from the mid-'80s when we had, at least it comes to comics, one of the first ever out characters who in the early 90s was killed by an AIDS vampire, great storytelling. And now, not only are they back and looking great, but we have more of a proliferation of representation and stories told behind the scenes and on the page than ever before. And there's a ton more work to do, but I'm excited to see it. And for the people that are thinking maybe they should get into comics, whether it's reading or creating, you folks, you're the next part of that step. Whether you're joining the reading community, whether you're stepping in the ring behind the scenes to tell your stories in defiance of the people that say no, we need you. I know you're going to be there, and I can't wait to be there with you.
The only thing we have to keep doing is like going forward. Everyone's journey is going to look terrible at first. I don't know if it's happened to other people, but my journey was like that. Like it looked like absolutely hopeless, and then I just went on, and suddenly I'm here being a comic book artist, and life takes you different places, and you never know what's going to happen, but your people are going to be there for you, your friends and your family, the family you're going to find. Eventually it's going to be okay.
Is you belong, you're welcome, you are a part of us. If you don't see yourself in the work that's out there, you have the ability to create it, and together we have the power to kind of change and create and re-envision what our identities mean to us and kind of how we carry on in the world.
I want you to know that no matter whether you can see your community now or how much of community you have access to right now, that community is there, and that community is waiting for you, and that community needs you. So we're excited for you to join us.
Your story is necessary and is now, and that don't ever feel that you need to be silenced. You know, we are beautiful and we deserve to tell our stories and celebrate our stories.
It's possible to be all of who you are and be loved not in spite of those things, but because of those things.
Stories help us give a window into others' experiences, and you deserve to have your own stories shared, and you deserve to have your own stories out there, and you also deserve to be exposed to experiences and perspectives that you've never imagined.
There are so many fat and queer books being written right now. And what I want to tell you is that you matter. Your voice matters. And there's nobody else in the world like you. And that's a pretty special thing. So embrace yourself, embrace your power, and whatever your dream is, fight until you get it, because you are so important and the world is just waiting for you.
You know, it's never too late to be who you want to be. Write your story, tell your story, live your story. It's never too late, no matter how old you are. There's always time. And that's it.
We all will come to a place where we realize that other people's definitions and the boxes that they put us in are not serving us. So once you get there, you decide to do you. And it's going to happen. Don't worry.
There's no time limit to find yourself, to discover your voice, and your journey. So enjoy the ride and don't stress it, because eventually you're going to get there.
Story. Tell your story and make sure it's honest, make sure it's original, and make sure it's something that you feel truly deeply in your heart that it's you. And the more specific and personal it will be for you, the more universal it will be for everyone else.
Questioning find a sense of hope and familiarity and belonging in the pages of queer books, and you are not alone and you are valid.
Is that we can get there if we work together and we stand together to build a community that focuses on protecting and uplifting the most vulnerable and needy among us.
I think that you don't have to have everything completely figured out to identify as queer, and I think you don't have to know everything when you're a young person. You don't have to know how you're going to live or how you're going to identify or who you're going to date to be valid and to be important. And I think everyone figures it out at a different time, and you don't have to know it right away.
Just don't give up. I think the one thing that can hold you back is hitting that wall and saying, I'm done. You know, the only way that you ever really fail is by stopping yourself. And if you just keep pushing, keep trying, you'll get there.
To just keep going despite whatever obstacles might come your way, because, you know, people are waiting to hear your voice and to read your stories.
There's a book out there for you. And even if you feel like there isn't a book out there for you yet, that's because what the world needs is for you to write your book. So even if it feels like there's not an audience and there aren't people who care for and support what you're doing, there is somebody out there who needs exactly who you are.
In both my novels, The Gravity of Us and As Far As You'll Take Me, I always say that there are many different themes between the two books, but the one theme that connects them is hope. So in The Gravity of Us, it's this aspirational world where two sons of astronauts can fall in love, and really their identity is not a huge issue to them. Whereas in As Far As You'll Take Me, the growth that Marty sees as he is learning who he is and is actually learning his own identity is its own message of hope. So I really want to know, I want authors and I want readers and anyone who is in this community to know that when they put themselves out there and they start to understand who they are, there's so much hope for the person that you will become, for the person you are now, for the person you have been, and there's just so much exciting life left to live.
That I am extremely encouraged by the things I'm seeing behind the scenes in the publishing industry, and I'm hopeful for the future, and especially in queer kid lit. I'm really hopeful with what I'm seeing, and we've come a long way. We have a long way to go still, but we're doing the work, and I'm really encouraged by that. So queer stories are very important, and they have a place here. They always have, and they always will. So just take heart in that.
Your words matter. Keep writing them. You are enough, and you're valid, and you deserve to write your stories.
There is a place for you. You're deserving of love, and you can make that place yourself, and you can define however that love is going to look for you. And I can't wait to hear what stories you have to tell me.
That you can be a hot mess and still live the best life possible. I often think about what a strange journey it has been for me to publish books. It has taken quite a long time, and also it's been a very weird journey to get here as well. But I love that I've gotten to be myself and to write books like Anger is a Gift and Each of Us a Desert, which are very strange in their own way. And so I hope that the message of hope that you get is that you can be yourself and still be the exact writer that you want to be as well.
That, you know, whatever story you have inside of you, it might feel sometimes like nobody is listening, but there are so many people out there, and I guarantee you there are people who need to see the story that you have inside of you, and it's a wonderful thing to share it.
That you are valid, and I love you, whether you're out or not.
Being gay is a gift.
And so we should all be grateful for our gayness and queerness.
You are so strong. We need you. Your voices, your stories, everything that you have to give us, we need.
I am one of those late bloomers. I didn't realize I was queer until I was almost 30 years old, and I'm still learning so much about myself, about what that even means. And in my writing, I often struggle with the idea of, am I enough? And, am I Latino enough? Am I queer enough? Am I doing this the right way? Am I hurting? And I realize as long as I'm writing the truest version of myself, then there is no right or wrong way to do it. So don't let people tell you who you can and cannot be.
You are who you say you are, and nobody can decide your identity but you. You define yourself.
You do not need to come out. You don't owe that to anyone. And if you choose to come out, I am right here with you and happy to be a part of this community with you. But I want you to know that I already consider you a part of my community. And you're awesome.
I just got the most moving message on Instagram from a reader who read like a love story, who said it was a young reader who was still not out to their family, but who said that reading the book made them feel less alone. And they spoke directly about one of the passages in the book, which talks about how there are ghosts walking alongside us of our queer ancestors, those who passed, of queer artists. And that's very much something I felt as I was starting my own process, was the idea that like I'm connected to people I don't even know I'm connected to, that there was a community out there for me. And I suppose if there's a message of hope to send to everyone out there, especially after a year plus of isolation for so many of us, it's that we are not alone and we can connect in so many ways. And I personally believe that creating art and reading art or taking art in any way is a way to connect to others. So however connection happens for you, just know that there's a community out there.
You are never truly alone. And one of the messages in my book is that there is always help available to you when you need it, if only you use your voice to ask for it.
You got this.
We are not going anywhere, and it is time to dominate.